Welcome back, guys. Last time I left you with the engine flooding. Unfortunately, I tried to do a little maintenance on it and I shredded the 240. Now I wanted to get a Holley Carburetor rebuild kit. However, they have a back order for over a month, so I was kind of forced to get a new carburetor. Yeah, so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna change the fuel line setup, and I'm gonna see if I can add a gauge so I can see how much fuel I'm getting through there. So I am in a bit of a crunch because it looks like it's gonna rain and I only have today to do this. So let's get right to work, shall we? Okay, and this is what we got. We got ourselves a 10 micron stainless steel inline fuel filter for 3/8 hose. So we're gonna try to put this near the carburetor. And before that, we're gonna put the 3/8 Clearview inline filter. Like that, and both of these are from Jegs. I also got the clamps for the fuel hose, and I'm going to try to put one of these gauges, fuel pressure gauge, so we can get a more accurate reading as to how much pressure we're putting into our fuel line. So hopefully this will work. Shouldn't hurt. Now let's take a look at our carburetor. So here we have the same carburetor, and I showed you guys how I read off the part numbers last time. This is the first time I'm opening it, so this should be interesting. Ooh, nice smell of oil. We got some gaskets, assuming that's some kind of instruction manual. Alright, installation instructions. These will come in handy because I've never done this before.
What?
Let's look at this. Ooh, Holley. Let's try to see this. Ooh, look at that. So nice and shiny in there. Hold on, I gotta put this down for a second. So, this looks pretty straightforward. Take one out, put one in. Same thing, right? I don't know. So let's take a look at the engine bay and see what we need to get the other one out and put this one in. Okay. Okay, first I gotta take this out. Alright, so I wasn't kidding. I don't think I've ever done this before, so let's take a look at this together. Hopefully it's not too boring. Before we get started, do you really need a carburetor? Is there an underlying problem? Yes, there is. I think there is a dirty fuel filter and not enough of filtration. So we're gonna add a second filter. And I also don't know what kind of pressure I'm getting. So now let's take a look here. Complaint problem, floods. Possible engine causes, incorrect fuel pressure. Well, if I'm gonna add the gauge, that should help us figure that one out. Possible carburetor causes, we have flow level incorrect. Well, that was all the way down, as you saw last video. Trash in the needle and seat. There's a little gunk on it. And no or dirty fuel filter. Alright, so it looks like we check all the boxes. So that's a good thing we're getting a new one, I guess. Okay, so all of these installation instructions looks like we have to take the old carburetor out so we can start following this along. So let's do that.
Now, if you don't care for carburetors, you feel free to skip the next 10 minutes. But if you want to follow along, or if you know what you're doing, seeing as this is my first time and you want to help me out, drop a comment below. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm first gonna go ahead and remove the Time Spark vacuum source to the distributor, which is vacuum advanced. Then the positive choke terminal. Also want to note, I removed the battery before this, just in case. I don't want any sparks with the fuel. Then I'm gonna go ahead and remove the inlet hose for the fuel. I found that I need to put some towels underneath this because there's still some residual fuel before I turn the truck off. And next we're gonna take care of the spring perch, then the transmission kickdown lever, and also the throttle cable.
So we take the throttle linkage. Just dropped that. Okay.
because I've been used to foreign cars most of my time, I mostly have metric stuff, so I really need to get a nice set of standard tools. So next I need to remove these 4 studs.
Okay. I think that's free now. So now I think we just need these bolts to come out.
Now the ones in the back weren't too bad to get to, but just gotta be careful not to drop them.
I think I got everything.
And now as I pick this up, I just want to make sure that I don't tilt it because there's still some fuel inside of the carburetor, so I don't want it spilling everywhere. And I'm also removing this vacuum hose in the back. So this is for the power brake, or I think it's a PCV vacuum port, they call it. And I also want to inspect the top. Now this whole thing is dirty, especially after all the fuel got on top. So I'm gonna clean this up.
Oh, look what I found. Found a branch. How'd that get back there? No damage or anything like that. From up here anyway. So let's put in a new one.
So all I'm doing is just putting some brake cleaner right on top, just being careful as to where I'm spraying. Just out of a safety measure, I'm just gonna cover the ports into my intake. I don't think brake cleaner is too bad to get in there, but I don't want anything to get blown into it, any dirt or anything like that. It could be metal bits or anything like that. So now to remove these studs, using the double nut method, where I jam a nut into another, and then I remove from the bottom one so I can use it to turn the whole stud.
It looks like whoever put this last used some vice grips. Very nice.
A lot of people use vice grips, and I don't like doing that because it mars the stud, and it also makes it harder to have a better feel of how deep or how much torque you're applying to them. And you don't want to distort the intake.
Your turn. Let's go. So let's start by taking this off. Don't need those tags anymore. Now there are a bit of differences here. Now I can see there's some kind of spring here. So when the throttle opens, this will kind of soften the blow of this right there. Whereas this one doesn't really have that. There's really nothing here. So there's nothing to prevent this from going all the way straight through. That's pretty cool. Everything else seems the same. Overall, yeah. So I think we're okay. Yeah, I think we're good to go. The numbers on the body are pretty much the same. You can see them right there. The screws is slightly different. This one's all flathead. This one's also flathead. These have, I guess, both options. So Phillips are flat, Phillips are flat. The side, to see the level, I don't know if you guys can see that, is flat. The old one is flat as well. Alright, so let's put the shiny new guy in and hopefully resolve our problems. And I really hope that there's no rain because I want to finish this up, get this started.
This looks so much nicer, don't you think?
Alright, so next it looks like we gotta go in a crisscross pattern to to 60 to 80 inch-pounds.
So I know this extension's going to change the torque value that I'm applying to the nuts a little bit. So I'm applying only 70 inch-pounds just to be safe. It's right in between. Not too much, not too little. Next, we're going to come back to our fuel lines like we did last video. And I'm noticing that these have writings on them, so it shows you which way's in, which way's out. Obviously, the inlet is going to be coming out of the tank. Now, I didn't get footage of it, but I did put the finer mesh filter in tandem of this one, and I'm putting it before the mechanical fuel pressure regulator because I was a little worried that seeing as it's a finer mesh, that it would potentially increase my fuel pressure. I'm putting the fuel pressure gauge as close as I can to the inlet of the carburetor, just so I know what's actually going into it. Now, the engine's pretty cold, so don't get crazy about being liquid filled or not liquid filled as far as the gauge.
Okay, so it's nighttime now, and I'm gonna turn the truck on for the first time. Let's see if we get fuel pressure.
You can see the benefits of getting the clear filter.
Okay, let's see.
All right, and now I'm checking the hoses to see if I have any pressure inside of them. I'm seeing some fuel starting to go into it. So it looks like I need to crank a little more. Looks like these are okay. But after the mechanical fuel pump, I get nothing. It's kind of weird that I'm not getting much pressure into this hose because I am getting fuel out of the jets. So the back ones are good. And let me show you the front ones.
That's good. Okay. That's good. That's good. All right.
Oh boy, that's not good. Way too hot. Let's bring this down.
So a little disappointing. Sorry about that. However, on the bright side, we are narrowing down our fuel issues. We got a new carburetor, we got new filters, a finer one. I was a little concerned that the finer mesh filter was gonna push our pressure up a little bit. That's why I put it before the regulator. However, it looks like the mechanical regulator attached to the engine is perhaps malfunctioning or something's going on with it. As you saw on the last clip, I put the pressure gauge right before the inlet of the carburetor, and that read between 7 and 8-ish, which is not a good place for the carburetor. It's not happy. As you heard, it sounds like a sprinkler. So we'll try to fix that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order a fuel pressure regulator, an external one, and see if we can manually correct that, so that way we can rule that out. So hopefully I can find a fuel pressure regulator that isn't back ordered or something like that. Just yesterday I was looking for a 90-degree MPT fitting, and it was back ordered to July 20 something. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on there. So we'll take care of that. Next time I'm going to work on the 240, and we have some parts for valves, so we'll put those on whether we get the fuel pressure regulator or not. But, you know, fingers crossed that we get that. Until then, enjoy your week or weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh no, my brake lines are sweating. Basically one strong brake from bursting. Jeez, that's not good.
I can't even find his one order, so I don't even know how he got this car.
Starting to feel like this car's cursed.